to finish off a little bit later than 1 hour. Greg just posted, Greg Lund at Greg Lund X with the two swords. Big SATP update. SETL, an open source protocol working on the US Regulated Liability Network with the New York Fed, who has Deloitte as an early investor and was once labeled a Quant, quote-unquote, competitor, has reached out to the SATP working group, suggesting they'd very much like to contribute to the protocol. Quote, hey guys, can we be included too? Type of energy. Waving the white flag, submitting to Gilbert's vision. It is quite clear at this point. API gateways are the dominant force in cross-network asset transfers. Are you? Ladies and gentlemen, comrades, welcome to episode 8 of the Quamfy Show. I'm a little bit under the weather. Try to mute my mic whenever I can so I won't cough all over your eardrums. We'll see how that goes. So, as you guys have seen, markets are a little bit in trouble right now. I'm not too worried, to be honest, but these prices have not been seen for at least a week or two. Quant hitting somewhere around 90 euros right now.
Yeah, so around $100.
Yeah, so we'll get to that in the middle of the show. Now we're going to kick off speaking about the RLN, the Regulated Liability Network. It's been around a lot longer than a lot of you guys probably know. Our comrade friends from Council and Council actually figured that out a good while ago. So we're going to dive in into history a little bit and have a look when the first mentions were actually up. Because what's really interesting to me is that a lot of people think that this is a new thing, right, to RLN, and it's not. And we'll back that up. So then we'll go to markets. Yeah, we're going to have a look at what is going on, and we're going to hold each other dry, and then we're going to move on to other great news, because Securitize literally quoted Gilbert in a tweet like a week back, and that's going to feed into the next topics, which are tokenization, token definitions. So we're going to look at SIX and SDX. I'm going to explain who they are, as well as their connections with Quant. Then we got some news when it comes to the RWA scene and CMC. And Greg also found a very nice nugget, and we're going to close off with that. As always, timestamps are in the description. So if you're going to jump ahead, also leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe. We really, really appreciate it. Also, if you're on podcast, it helps us out a lot by following us. Make sure to get notifications and share with your friends, right? We make an effort to produce a lot of good info, and we'd love for you guys to share. We're going to do our best to keep this under an hour. That's our new goals. Those are our new goals. So we'll see how that goes. Tim, how you doing, brother?
I'm here.
Yeah.
Another 2 weeks have passed. I'm still in the process of buying a house, and all the pieces of the puzzle are now slowly falling into place. So, I need to arrange all my finances for my mortgage, and the banks want you to, comply with all the checks they put on you, right? So you need to meet all their requirements. You need to deliver all kinds of documents. So that is slowly crystallizing. One part of the mortgage has now been approved since last week, and now I'm waiting for the final offer from my bank, and that should be all right. So I'm buying pieces of furniture now. Preparing to settle in my own place, and that is just taking away a lot of bandwidth. Been really busy with that. It's kind of also a weird limbo stage at this point because a lot of things are being taken care of for me right now, and I feel like everything is now everything is in motion, and I will hit reality more as we hit that point where I actually get the keys. So it'll be near the end of June. So then it will get a lot busier than it is right now. So I'm kind of back into a normal state right now of, okay, sure, I've bought a house and I need to do a lot of stuff. But I'm also not as stressed as I was like a month ago. And my bid got accepted and I needed to arrange a lot of things. And you are overthinking everything because, well, you could have made a better decision, or should you have done it, should you have not done it? Did I pay the right price? But yeah, everything is everything, all the pieces of the puzzle are falling into place for me. So that also means that I can actually start looking at crypto again, look at my portfolio, what happens, how many QNT did I need to sell for this? Where am I right now? What will I do in the future? So I'm kind of reorienting myself. Actually, I've bought back QNT, so I had to sell a lot, obviously, because, well, I need to bring in my own funds. But I've also been buying back slowly because, well, the prices actually made that possible, and I want to reach a level of QNT, like a bottom level again. So I'm slowly buying where I can, and I'm just following the market closely. And actually, then it's not that bad because if you want to buy, falling prices are always in your favor. So it's not too bad, really.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's pretty interesting because it is always the same with, well, at first with banks, right? I mean, banks do risk management, right? They want to take as little risk as possible and make as much money as they can.
Yeah.
So when somebody tries to get a mortgage and you want to bring in, I don't know, let's call a number, let's say 100K, then they absolutely positively need to know where the 100K is coming from, because if you got that from illicit sources, then they're liable, right? But on the other hand, they are embezzling and scamming and and speculating with all your money. There's a lot of hypocrisy there, and the same hypocrisy is, to me, very evident when it comes to crypto markets, because everybody's always complaining. Oh, I need to reach my targets. Oh, I need more QNT, and then the price is tanking, and the same fucking people are crying, right? And everybody is sad. And oh, when are we going to 1,000? And I'm like, motherfucker, last week you were crying that you need to reach your targets, need to meet your targets, and you want to buy back lower, and now it's going lower, and now you're not putting money in. Now you're waiting. Now you're waiting for lower prices. Now you're waiting for, what are you waiting for? You're waiting for the reversal. But when the reversal comes, then your brain will be like, no, it can go down any moment now, or no, it's now too expensive. We're going down more because BTC is going XYZ.
It's going deeper. Yeah.
It's never ending, and that is why we here from the Quamfy show are all about just do the DCA, right? If you have funds, deploy funds when you have them ready. Don't look at prices, don't look at markets. Keep something in reserve, and if it really tanks, get more if you want
exactly.
to.
Yeah.
But
I think
just allocate funds at specific times. Do not try and time the market, because you only know if you did well after you invested.
Yep.
Right? If you decided not to do anything, the only thing you can have is a little bit of wee bit of relief, but most likely eventually regret. Because if you're not learning, teaching yourself to make decisions.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, in general, time in the market, and it goes for everything. Time in the market will beat timing the market. Like buying a house, I have no grip on the interest rates, right? I've heard some colleagues, well, in 2021, interest rates were near 1%. Yeah, but I wasn't there at that point. So you can't time that stuff. You just need to find an entry point. You just need to go at some point.
You do have a couple of guarantees, right? If you look at market trends over the last 50 to 100 years, generally stocks are up. Housing prices are up. The amount of money you can borrow generally is down, and interest rates are cyclical, right? What you pay for getting a loan or a mortgage, etc. But you also have needs, and if you can now get a mortgage and you're paying because you need to get out of the house, for instance, or you want something, and you pay 3% interest. Yes, that's a lot of money, but arguably your house will gain so much more value. Right? We're talking about buying houses in the Netherlands for the people that are not from the Netherlands. Usually, right, the common way of doing things is people buy houses. Yes, when you're young, people rent, right, when they're in college or whatever, but you try to buy as soon as possible. We have a culture of owning your own property. I think that's a way to describe it. But houses over time, some examples of this not happening, but generally houses appreciate in value a lot, and especially if you buy right in between like the southwestern part of the Netherlands, they will gain value quickly because there's just a lot of demand for those. So if you have the triangle, Rotterdam, Eindhoven, Utrecht, Amsterdam, if you buy within that square, there's a good chance that your house is a pretty good investment. So why not? And I think the same is with certain cryptos. And obviously this is not advice to go buy Q&T tokens right now because I'm not knowing what the market will do in any situation. But generally speaking, if you buy something which has an underlying value, right? A company that is valuable, doing good things. It's a fair assumption to eventually expect that price for said token or stock will go up, right? Looking at markets in general from time from 100 years ago till now. So why not just buy at certain points? I did in the beginning as well. Right now, I'm in the phase where I'm gradually selling every now and then. You guys know this. Whenever I need some money, I sell one Q&T or whatever if I want something extra. So I am technically DCAing out, right? And every now and then, when price get really low, like a couple of weeks ago, I'll just buy back a bunch from some shitcoin gains that I made over time as a little bit of extra juice. But just DCAing will be your friend in general, right? Have some fiat on the side or just put away a little bit of your salary. You can save a lot of fucking money if you stop getting coffee from a gas station. Maybe drop some nasty habits that you have. I mean, I managed to free up, like back in the day, almost €1,000 a month by not buying expensive e-liquids, not getting takeout pizza once, twice a week, not going to gas stations for coffee. Those simple things add
make
up
a significant difference.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you're paying €4 for a coffee a day, that's 120 euros.
Yeah, it's
right
something
there.
I'm really aware of as well.
Yeah,
I have that habit at my work to get lunch, get a coffee in the morning.
Yeah, and if you're one of those people that makes excuses, but I gotta live a little. Yeah, you can choose to live a little less right now, and just make your coffee at home, and just add like 1 to 5 Q&T to your freaking bag. I mean, I just saw somebody posting that Quant is now on a downtrend for 79 weeks.
Yeah.
And I didn't fact check that, but if that's the case, then you had 79 weeks to buy Q&Ts up to 300, right? So in my example now, let's say you can save €200 a month. You can get between 1 and 2 Q&T each month. If you've done that for what's that 80 weeks is how many months? 20.
Yeah, that's roughly 30.
You could have added like 40 QNT to your stack then.
Yeah.
That's nice. If you can hold that for a couple of years.
Quamfy show calculations. Don't quote us.
Yeah. Fact check in
So there are,
sorry.
let's say there are 4 weeks in a month.
Yeah. So 79 weeks is 80 weeks roughly. So that's 20 months.
Yeah.
80 divided by 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So run the numbers in the comments. Let us know. Anyway,
hey, but how?
That's a lot of QNT. You can say you should buy fucking these dips and don't cry because you'll be crying later.
You just jumped in on my. We're already 15 minutes in almost, and I didn't even ask how
15
you are.
minutes. Yeah, no, we're going for an hour.
Okay,
all right. Sorry.
But okay,
over.
but you're okay, right? You're okay. That's trust me on that. I think
we'll manage. Oh yeah. No, I'm just a little bit of a cold and everything is fine. So let's take it to the
fascinating intro.
Yeah, man. This is good. This is one of Tim's main tasks here. That's to put the brakes on every now and then.
Yeah.
Okay. So take a sip of water. I'm going to be drinking a lot of water today, people.
By the way, before we dive into it, I actually noticed this is not related to anything in this tweet, but I noticed that I sometimes listen to the show in my car, and while I drive a Toyota Aygo Cross, and like it has those cheap speakers. I think I've blown up one of my speakers because whenever I hear the podcast, I hear the Quamfy show, and you start talking, just my speaker just starts trembling, and it sounds awful.
Oh, it's because of the low resonance shit.
Yeah, it can't deal with the resonance of this show, so I cannot really listen to the Quamfy show anymore in my own car. That's
okay. Yeah. I can actually adjust it in my mic settings. Yeah. I tried that because I noticed that as well, because I have a subwoofer here and a subwoofer there, a speaker there, and a speaker there. And sometimes when I'm editing, I just put it on the speaker so I can also hear the kids. But then indeed, my voice is like.
Yeah, exactly. My
car doesn't. Painful.
The speakers in my car do not like it when you start talking, and then every time I need to shut down the volume. Okay, Quant has tweeted,
and I talk so much. Okay, so here we go. The Quant tweet. Quant, alongside Inside R3, has been selected to produce the technology prototype for the experimentation phase of the UK's Regulated Liability Network. Quant's technologies were built from the ground up for deployment in highly regulated use cases such as this. Learn more about our role in the different digital infrastructure that firms across the ecosystem can connect into and innovate further below. Okay. And then we have this infograph thing. Quant, the technology provider for the UK's Regulated Liability Network. How? We will be enabling programmability by delivering the orchestration and API layer to the project via our Overledger platform. Why Quant? We developed connectivity and smart contracts for the UK's retail CBDC experiment, right? This was Project Rosalind. And deliverables. Quote, platform for innovation, end quote, across multiple forms of money, a shared ledger for tokenized commercial bank deposits, and testing of various use cases, including delivery versus payment, bond issuance, and e-commerce. So that's really cool. R3 tagged. They have their Corda chain, right? Their DLT. Where are they? Why are we not following them? That they're most likely also will be working with, and Quant will be the party in between connecting everything and as they say, orchestrating, right? So that will be the API gateways and all the prioritization, orchestration, and such. I think we'll get to that a little bit later. So if we go to the Quant website, April 15th, 2024, this was the announcement that got actually hyped on both X and LinkedIn by both Andrew and Salim. We'll
Keep
put
doing
this
that
in
every
the,
show.
yeah, I'm doing it every show. I love it because I still believe she's from Belgium. Anyway, Selene. There's a quote, obviously, from Jana McIntosh, Managing Director, Payment Innovation and Resilience at UK Finance. And it reads, quote, Quant's experience developing connectivity and smart contracts will prove invaluable to the UK RLN, end quote. There's obviously a couple of banks included, right? Which are Barclays, Citi, HSBC, Lloyds Banking Group, MasterCard, NatWest, Nationwide, Santander, Standard Chartered, Virgin Money, and Visa. Ernst & Young and Linklaters are supporting them. Linklaters are lawyers, and Ernst & Young is I forget the word every time, auditing firm.
Yeah. Yeah, at least they do the consultancy. They audit what's going on.
Consultancy firm, yeah, right. And obviously R3, Quant, DXC, and Coadjute. I'll link the episode above where we go deeper into what these companies do. What is interesting, obviously, is that they will be using Overledger platform, right? Quant will be enabling programmability and interoperability across different forms of money by delivering the orchestration and API layer to the project with Overledger platform. And Overledger platform, I'll put the link to that in the description as well. But this is what you need to sign up for. And this is where all the features of the Overledger Platform product suite reside, right? So smart audit. Man, I forgot all these things I just realized. The tokenized product where you can actually make your own tokens. They have the authorize and
all
so
those
on.
Things you see here, and we're looking at for the listeners, we're looking at the Quant website and gives a brief overview of all the functionalities of what Overledger is capable of what the Overledger platform is capable of. And I mean, all the things we see here that they're now using in their work with the Regulated Liability Network is also something that has developed from Project Rosalind. All these functions of Overledger have come from the Project Rosalind experiment.
Yeah, we didn't know that at the time, right? We knew they produced like this new feature like every 2 to 3 weeks for a couple of weeks on end. And those were apparently all quote unquote fixes and innovations that were required to make Project Rosalind more successful.
Exactly, and they have now become an integral part of Overledger itself. So we can we're now looking.
No, go on.
Yeah, so we're now just looking at some of the features that Overledger has, and the first thing in the top left side is the plug and play simplicity. So it reads as an API-based platform. Overledger is easy to use and offers multi-chain REST APIs. I have no clue what those are. Designed to abstract blockchain's complexity.
Type of API.
Yeah, okay, a type of API designed to abstract blockchain's complexity and remove the need for expert developers. So it just makes stuff plug and play. Then in the middle, we have easy integration. Overledger connects public and private networks and legacy systems so that you can integrate blockchain and your existing tech stack with ease. Then it has code-free engines on the right. And it reads, our tokenization and cross-network asset bridge engines can be deployed in minutes and need zero coding.
Yeah, what's interesting about that is Quant is more and more beginning to, show as a company like Google, right? In the beginning, you just had Google, was the search engine, and then they added YouTube, and then they added Drive, and then they added et cetera, et cetera. And now you have like this grid in your top right. If you click it, whichever type of sheet or application you need, you can just find it there, right? And Quant is doing the same. So you're gonna have all these little plugins, if you will, that can be used straight from Overledger platform, and it will be all code free. So like the Make integration and Zapier, which are kind of like WordPress-esque programs, right? Where you can just pick and choose separate features and combine them all together and make magic. That is all just drag and drop stuff, mostly. I mean, you can make it more complicated or bespoke if you want. But generally, for most applications, drag and drop will suffice. And Quant offers that, which is super important because DLT developers are very scarce, especially good and reliable ones, apparently. So if you can do this in-house with any developer, which knows whichever type of code or programming language, that's a huge cost saver for massive innovation. And yeah, they nailed it in that regard. Tim, go
on. Wait, did we already mention the agile design?
No.
Everything on the in
No.
the bottom? Okay, so
No.
in the bottom left, it mentions agile design. So our features and constant innovation offer an iterative system that is always loaded with the latest technology. Well, that's something we've known for quite a while, that Quant has shifted from this roadmap style to, well, just we'll see how it goes, and we will we'll have to find out what we give priority as we develop.
Yeah.
Something we've discussed quite a couple of times here on the show.
Sure.
Then we have a block with comprehensive support. It reads from detailed guides, API references, code samples, and expert support. We offer our customers resources for smooth implementation and user adoption. Yeah, you get the full support package. Then we have security and speed. Built by cybersecurity experts, Overledger uses the latest security protocols with fast development and deployment capabilities. Well, Gilbert's background, security. And then, most importantly, in my opinion, we have the multi-chain access. And well, it says whether you are issuing on private networks or ready to deploy onto public chains, Overledger can connect you to Avalanche, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Hyperledger, Bisu, Hyperledger Fabric, Polkadot, XTC, XRP, and more. And that's ultimately the reason we're here, because we need the interoperability.
Yeah, that's kind of how we got there, right? Because of the interoperability, that was initially the plan, right? And doing it with gateways, but that evolved so much from since I got here in 2020.
Yeah.
And what also sparked my interest when I read that a couple of weeks back is that they now literally advertise as we can connect you to any chain. So whilst they have literally named like all these chains, right? The Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bisu, etc. You can actually get bespoke solutions for separate chains and also with private chains. And that is what distinguishes Quant now more and more is that, as we know, it can settle offline, right? CBDCs and such. We know that from Project Rosalind. But it can also connect private to public, public to public, private to private, and any way you want to, which is super important because a lot of the solutions that big businesses want will be within their own ecosystem, and they will want to keep that private. They don't want to put their stuff on public ledgers, and a lot of you guys would love to see everything being on a public blockchain until I'm telling you that your bank account will be on the public blockchain as well. And then you start complaining about privacy. So there's always got to be this balance, and Quant is offering everything. And this, right, that multi-chain part will make it also very easily accessible through the companies like the companies that use products like companies like Zapier and Make, right? So the small medium enterprises that are now being pulled to the table, they need all this, and the comprehensive support is obviously this is a little bit of being oversold just a bit, because with the basic programs that they have, there is support, but not as hands-on as they describe here, right? You need a bespoke plan to really get the 24/7 support, as far as I understood. But since this is so simple, right? The drag and drop WordPress-esque style, and the multi-chain accessibility, with, as Tim stated very accurately, the technology that has been created for Project Rosin, right? So it's central bank grade. That makes this very, very, very interesting. But we are digressing because we were talking about RLN. And the RLN, the Regulated Liability Network, we have known about for quite some time, because Ledger Insights wrote this on November 15th, 2022. New York
Fed. The day
Fed,
before it turns, 2022, 26? Yeah, it was 25 when that happened. It's the day before my birthday. November the 15th.
docs.
Yeah.
So if you want to guess Tim's password, now you know his day of birth. New York Fed, 8 banks to test digital dollar or regulated liability network. So that was in 2022. New York Fed. We already know that Gilbert's been in touch with them for like fucking donkey's years. And then they already spoke about 8 banks and digital dollars, as well as an RLN. The heroes from Council and Council, links in the description, already figured that out. I'm just going to read the introduction. So today, the New York Innovation Center, New York Federal Reserve Initiative, announced a tokenized money or digital dollar project involving 9 financial institutions. It will use the Regulated Liability Network, which Citi first conceived, to use the same DLT network to support central bank liabilities, commercial bank money, and non-bank issuer liabilities. Citi, BNY Mellon, Wells Fargo, HSBC, and MasterCard are among the participants. And there's an update. Results of the trial have been released. Please go into the description of the video, leave a like and comment, and subscribe, and also click here and find out more. So this was in 2022, and a lot of people think that the RLN is new, which is not, because the RLN has been around for a while. And there was a lot of language already in these announcements that tipped us off that this could very likely be Q&T. Tony McLaughlin of Citi was already quoted here. Citi's Tony McLaughlin wanted to reframe the debate from public versus private money to regulated versus unregulated money, and hence created a single financial market infrastructure and platform that could support central bank money, as well as commercial banks and e-money providers. Future regulated stablecoins were also part of his vision. Tony McLaughlin called Gilbert Verdian the Robbie Williams of blockchain. And interesting that they also make the distinguish here between e-money, central bank money, and commercial
banks. Yeah.
It's you want to add something?
No, I mean, this is something that happened back in 2022, but at that point, we were probably focused on other things as well.
No. This was known. But what is interesting is that because e-money is the money that we use in our banks, right? I can transfer money to you, and that will be instant because that is e-money. That's not really money. That's just numbers changing. And then you have the regular money that gets settled at the end, right? End of the week, end of the day, end of the month, whatever. But that distinction is interesting because this is not, e-money is not stable coins, right? That's a different category altogether. And we'll get to that later on when we look at the digital assets. So this was in 2022. They wrote about this already. So JP Morgan, September 20, 2023, is part of the Regulated Liability Network digital currency project. This is not a very flattering picture. But during a Cybers panel discussion today, JP Morgan revealed it is participating in the Regulated Liability Network. Gary Chen, the bank's global head of post-trade, believes digital currency will transform payments within 5 years. 2023, within, oh, that's before 2028. Yeah, JPM obviously big, right? And they had their project Onyx and God knows what else. Digital currency needs collaboration, interoperability. Quote, if we bicker and argue about certain plumbing pieces that exist today, we'll never get there. To me, 85-90% of what we're talking about today probably won't exist in 5 years. It's going to look different. And there's a lot of other quotes here. Someone from Ernst & Young said, we're seeing a lot of innovation in silos, but I think the future of digital money will be powered by collaboration, which is obviously what the RLN is all about. And then we have this blog, Digital Assets, January 31st, 2022. So that's roughly 2.5 years ago. I quick searched for the word multi-currency payment systems, multiple organizations, multiple platforms. This is where DAML comes in, our multi-party application framework. Leverage the benefits of distributed ledgers and smart contracts and can establish a strong foundation for successful RLN. DAML, I have no idea anymore what that is. I entirely forgot. Sun wrote a couple of things about this. But they're talking multi-party applications, multi-party workflows. This sounded really Quamfy really early on, right? Bank de France. There was another bank in here that we already tied like way back in the day. Also to Q&T. So the writing has been on the wall for quite some time, and this has been in development for quite some time. And why do we highlight this now? Because the fruits of this are going to be plucked a lot quicker than we think. If I'm not mistaken, the phase that they are in right now will end in July. Summer or July, I can't remember. There are a couple of deadlines around that time. But then there will be quote unquote results, right? Or something like that.
I'm not sure, but usually these kind of introductions happen in a stage where like they've already made all the decisions. Now it's the presentation time. Like in Dutch last week, you gave this example. Actually, your dad, I think, gave about like holding meetings. So then you usually don't hold meetings with all the parties involved when you still need to figure everything out. Everyone internally has probably everything has already been sorted out, but you only start doing like the actual meeting and the signing of documents when everything has been sorted. And I think we're in that stage right now.
A meeting doesn't have to last any longer than an hour because everything was decided beforehand in the hallways and in separate meetings. And the meetings themselves, right? The conference or whatever you want to call it, is just for fucking setting autographs and finalizing everything.
And that doesn't guarantee, obviously, that I know exactly how the timeline of this project looks. But this is something that has been going on for quite a while. And
I mean, if January 31st, 2022 was already the point where they wrote about this in so much detail, this was already far more than a vision. So this has been developed way before that. And it has been in development for 2.5 years. They now announced, right, that they're working with it. So now everybody really knows, in quotations. And now we have like this 4-month finalization or proof of concept thing, which is obviously a formality to a degree. They're a lot further ahead, as Tim stated, than they're letting on. So I'm curious. I'm curious what we'll get in July. I would not be surprised if in July they start within the banks that are there with mainnet trials, for instance.
No.
I would not be surprised at all. No guarantees, no financial advice, obviously. But yeah, I think it's safe to say that there's been like 3 to 5 years of development in this already.
Could very well be the case. We should not forget that Gilbert was already talking with central banks back in 2019, back in 2018. So then I don't know. It's not surprising to see the first results coming in right now. We're still not there. I expect everything that we see here to fully crystallize by the second half of this decade. But we're already halfway through this decade almost.
But
so yeah,
the big difference between CBDCs and this is that this is an interbank thing, right? Yeah. So this doesn't necessarily touch consumers.
No.
And
no, this is an industry focused project.
Yeah. So
this comes from the industry itself.
Yeah. So for CBDCs, that's obviously a little bit more impactful. Yeah. But the fact that this is a cooperation between competitors, right? Because technically all these banks are competitors. They're all competing for the same money. Yeah. But they also have to work together, right? It's all becoming interoperable right now. So now they're trying to optimize because everybody can win, right? If you're not part of this, you're not going to be winning because you're going to be behind. So they're maybe friends out of necessity. I mean, they all have their own stocks, right, and their own boards of directors and such. But this is good. This is great, and I would not be surprised if they put a rush on this because if they can make this fucking work, like they say, a critical step in the evolution of CBDC. Arguably, CBDCs will also be easier to implement, right? This will be also another brick in the wall to get the public used to things, right? Well, we'll see. Let us know in the comments how we missed the ball entirely. Let's dive into CoinGecko, Tim.
Shall we look at our portfolios?
Let's ease into
look at the CoinGecko.
Let's ease into it. So if we look at the good old CoinGecko, we see Bitcoin 56,000 euros.
That's around 60K, 58K dollars.
Probably. Yes. The global market cap is 2.2 trillion. There are 1,000 exchanges and 14,000 coins today. And today is the 30th of April. Yeah. And in 24 hours, Bitcoin is down 4.5%, 10% on the week, 15% on the month. Ethereum, 18% down on the month, 8% on the week, and so on. XRP, 20% down on the week. Solana, nearly 40% down on the week. Same for Dogecoin. On the month, apology. 40% down on the month. Yeah, which is it's a little bit bloody. Not gonna lie, it's a little bit bloody. Shiba Inu down 30%. Chainlink, 12 euro, down 30.8% on the month. And if we scroll down like way down, then somewhere we should find Quant.
No, we were
position
there.
68, 25% down on the month.
Hey, we're neighbors with Bonk.
And abysmal 92 euros.
Yeah.
Quant's grinding up from the bottom. Bottom was 90 euros this time. If we look at the week, it's just the long stairs down. On the year, price is pretty similar. So we can say we're still ranging. But yeah, how do you say, the spikes get higher to the top, right? So we touched 130 a couple of times and more frequent in the last couple of months. This is not technical analysis. This is just me having an aneurysm. This looks like a big ass fucking bull flag though. And if we put it to log, becomes more and more evident that if this move goes up, yeah, it could get really, really crazy. But we'll have to wait and see. Okay, well, here's to more pain. If we go to Tim's portfolio.
Yeah, how am I doing?
Tim's balance is
I'm back.
is 10k.
Nice. I literally back where I started.
Yeah. So his portfolio changed 6.6% in the
Nice.
last 24 hours. He is down 758 euros.
On the 24-hour? On the day?
Yes, obviously. And he's still up on Bonk, about 64%, 47% up on Tau, and 15% up on Vector Space. And Ordi Swap, he is up 27%. Orca is down 60%.
It's been caught by Japanese whalers.
Ampleforth down 11%. Chainlink is down 12%. And Uni is down 1.3. So if we look at the 3 months, it was up and now it's down. And that's the long and short of it.
It's like a slope.
Yeah. Yeah. But he's still total profit or loss up 469.
Can buy an Xbox. Nice.
Hardly. Okay. I am still down a good 4,258. I'm still down 42%. I've actually been up above. Really?
Yeah, there was you were profitable for a very short period of time.
Yeah.
Because of the insane performance of BitTensor.
Right. Oh, but BitTensor for me is still up 47%. Neon is back at €1, and Check D is down to 5 cents.
Yeah,
Check D is for my IRL portfolio. I actually bought a bunch. This big dip is enlarged for the people watching this because it is ranging between 0.051 and 0.0495. So this looks like a massive dump, same as some of you retards show BTC charts that are entirely zoomed in. And like, oh, you prop. And I'm like, this motherfucker, that's just €1,000. But yeah, we all have our emotional needs. So this is the Check D chart. Yeah, I don't know what to think of this. Apparently, there's good news coming this year for Check D. Same as with QNT. We'll have to see. Market cap is really low. It's up 40 million right now.
Yeah, I'm invested in Checked. It's one of the coins I hold in real life. Not much. Could buy myself a sofa, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, for me also. Yeah, I obviously sold all my Neon and I sold my BitTensor as well. But BitTensor would actually be possibly, arguably, a reasonable entry right now. I sold mine at about 425, I think.
Yeah, 530.
And Neon I sold break even for my IRL portfolio. Flip that into Check, by the way. But yeah, as soon as July hits, when we can redo our portfolios, I'll just take my losses from this because I'm not really sure if this will recover. I mean, this EVM thing was really nice, but then base came around, and I think that fucked with Neon, right? Being the Solana thing, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, not a shitcoin show. Tim, do you have anything to add of value?
Not really. We're just back back at the starting line.
Yeah, so moving on.
Yeah, then we have Securitize. And they did something quite special because in contrast to this other crypto that was seemingly affiliated with BlackRock, which turns out not to be the case. I even forgot which crypto that was. Happened last week. Some crypto announced that they were working with BlackRock, and BlackRock themselves came in and they say, hey, that's not the case. And the crypto dumped again. But we, on the other hand, actually have a connection.
It rallied 40%.
Yeah, and we're going to present it here to the tweet of Securitize. Go ahead.
Yeah. Banks see the need for programmable payments today. It's quite a game changer for them because business models can operate in a more efficient way. And that was said by Gilbert Verdian, CEO at Quant Network. Securitize tokenization platform provides a solution for businesses that want to deliver a new era of automation and self-service experiences for investors. Learn more about Securitize end-to-end management and support. So Securitize is part of BlackRock, right?
No, it's not a part of BlackRock, but it's a partner of BlackRock.
Yeah, so it's the tokenization part of BlackRock, which is really nice. Right?
And they also have a very nice name in the sense that they literally call themselves Securitize.
Well, and Gilbert would have liked to see that be written with an S, obviously, but can have it all. As Securitize is proud to announce we have partnered with BlackRock. Together, we're launching BlackRock USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund, BUIDL, BUIDL. BUIDL will provide investors with the opportunity to earn US dollar yields by subscribing to the fund with Securitize Markets LLC. The initial ecosystem participants in BUIDLs include Anchorage, BitGo, Coinbase, and Fireblocks HQ, among other market participants and infrastructure providers in the crypto industry. Read the announcement to learn more about BUIDL. I'll leave this tweet here, and you can then Google and follow it from there.
Yeah.
So tokenizing, making assets more liquid and so on. Let's go here first. So that takes us to a lot of confusion, right? What's a token? What's an NFT? What's a coin? And so on. SIX and SDX is the Swiss exchange, where also the Swiss stock market is operating on and so on. They made an article.
Also a Quant link with SIX.
Yes. Yes. SIX actually tweeted back in 2020, 2021, a poll where they asked what will change markets, something like that. And one of the answers was interoperability solutions like Quant Network, something like that. And eventually the tweet got deleted, if I'm not mistaken. Something also like that.
Some DGen intern tweeted that, probably.
Yeah. So digital assets, let's talk about tokens. Blockchain and distributed ledger technology in general have given birth to a dizzying array of new technology, including terms like crypto, coin, and token. Learn below what a token is and what types of tokens exist. So I'm just going to read this. What is the difference between coins and tokens? Digital assets based on distributed ledgers, also known as blockchain technology, can be talked about without using the terms quote-unquote coin and quote-unquote token. Historically, two different concepts lie behind the supposed synonyms. Until recently, the term coin denoted cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. The delineation from the term token was and still is not always clear-cut. Coins and tokens both represent a certain value, both can be used to make payments, and both are exchangeable with each other. However, a cryptocurrency coin only works on its own digital ledger technology or on its own blockchain. In other words, or its own blockchain, in other words, all transactions involving the cryptocurrency coin are registered and saved on that blockchain. That's why there's also a term native coin, which immediately makes it clear that this cryptocurrency is that blockchain's medium of exchange or quote unquote lubricant. So what is a token? The word token literally means something serving as an indication, proof, or expression of something else. A token is a sign, a symbol, a gaming piece, or even a voucher. In this sense, even a bookstore gift certificate for 20 francs is a token because, unlike a pure coin, a token can also represent an asset or a deed to an asset. A token ultimately is nothing other than a securitization of property. And the securitization of property in the digital world is called tokenization. The wide range of potential applications for tokens has given rise to a vast terminology. Here below is one of the many extant categories of tokens. Okay. So, a little sip of water. So far, I think so good, right? Most of you guys are, and girls, are literate enough to understand this. For banks and companies, and we stressed this earlier on a Quamfy show, the name something has, right, bears significance. It is important. Yeah, a token is not a coin, is not a money, is not a. Yeah, you can just call anything, everything. So they defined it here, right? So you have payment tokens, native tokens, currency tokens, alternative designations for coin, i.e. a cryptocurrency specific to a given blockchain. Example, BTC, right? That makes sense. BTC is just the money on the Bitcoin blockchain. It's not money, it's a coin. Then you have utility tokens, right? A cryptocurrency that allows token holders to utilize a blockchain-based product or service. An example here is gas. Example can also be QNT or get or open, whatever. So that's a token that has essentially not really per se a monetary value, but is used to access what is on that chain. Then you have security tokens, right? Security tokens. A conventional asset that has been converted into a digital token and is tradable on a specific blockchain, right? So tokenized Apple stock is one. I think this also applies to tokens that, for instance, represent gold, right?
Yeah. Something like the, what's it called? The
PAX.
PAX. Yeah. And
PAX
there's
gold.
this other one, and they are literally tied to the gold price.
Yeah, but there is a little bit of a gray area there, kind of depending on who is issuing it and who is using it. Regulation is not super duper clear quite yet. That's why a lot of big companies do not burn their hands on this type of stuff. Then we have the non-fungible token, right? The NFTs. So that's a digital right of ownership to a unique object. Example, CryptoPunk 7523 with a nice little link underneath there. I'm gonna click that. Yeah, let's keep it at that for now. And they have platform tokens, right? The cryptocurrency of a supplier that utilizes a blockchain infrastructure to deliver decentralized applications. Example, Aave. Yeah, so what the point with this type of token is they can transfer value within their ecosystem without having to put any value in, right? They can make the token for nothing. They can reward their holders with it, and that's how they create value because the users generate value. So the token has value because of that, and that's almost for free. And because it's for free, but the user gets value from it, they are inclined to do the behavior more. So you're actually getting paid more to give away free stuff because you hold the token yourself as well. To make it really, really complicated. And they have reward tokens, a cryptocurrency that's paid out as a reward for a specific action undertaken. Beefy, I don't know an example for this. Sounds like a platform token to me. They have the governance token, a cryptocurrency that guarantees token holders the right to vote on the project, protocol, and product. Example is Fourth. This one I know. Tim is holding Ample right now. Ample holders were dropped a bunch of Fourth, and they could then help to decide what protocol should or should not do. So Forth technically had no monetary value, but us degens, we pay for everything.
If you want to have voting power, you need that token. Then next, you have the fan token.
Yep. Cryptocurrency that grants token holders access to specific member benefits. And as you guys see, since we are in here, there's also a lot of tokens that just try to do all these different things, right?
Yeah.
Same with gaming tokens.
This is like it's not as black and white in reality.
No.
But yeah, this is when you really stretch definitions out, you get this, but it's never this spelled out in reality. It's always a mix. And then finally, you have the gaming token as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, gaming token, cryptocurrency of a blockchain-based computer game. I mean, that's technically the same as an exchange token, fills the same needs. I think, because it's just being used within an ecosystem. And then you have the social token, right? Creator, community token. Also the same example, whale. Created by a person, a community, or a brand for the purpose of monetizing work performed or the provision of content. Degen can also be an example for this. Whale, by the way, I think I still have a bunch of those. Anyway, it's a differentiation. Well, actually, it's all more or less the same, right? So it's a security token, or it's a utility token, or it's a coin. What else do we have? Or it's an NFT, and that's kind of the four. And a lot of these other things are just the same things with a different name. What is interesting is that an asset token represents a right of ownership over an asset. Asset tokens make it possible to trade novel assets as well as existing assets, right? Like stocks, bonds, mutual fund shares in the form of security tokens on a digital securities exchange, like the SIX Digital Exchange. The spectrum of novel assets include non-bankable assets, such as real estate, art paintings. FINMA classifies asset tokens as an ownership claim on an asset, which makes them securities akin to stock shares from a regulatory perspective. By the way, the non-fungible tokens or NFTs that everyone is talking about these days are also classified as asset tokens, right? So this is interesting. There's a little bit of clarity. So an NFT representing, for instance, a piece of art, right, or this glass, that is technically a security. And because of that, it is in some countries, it falls under different laws, right? Different regulations. And that means that it is taxed differently, means you have different requirements for holding, trading, creating, etc. Which is fascinating, and that's why we got to this, because this is really important. There's a couple of businesses and projects that we all know, right? Galileo Protocol is one, Get Protocol, and obviously Quant, that are all dancing with all these definitions to a certain extent, and these are not SIX, right? SDX 6 are not just some fucking how do you call it, crypto whale news outlet, right? These guys know what they're talking about.
Yeah, and then they have a certain audience.
Then they have an audience, right? So this matters, right? If you look at this, SIX Digital Exchange, the world leading financial market infrastructure for digital assets, FINMA regulated, SIMS the QNT token. Welcome to SIX Digital Exchange, the world's first fully regulated stock exchange and securities, central securities depository. SDX is revolutionizing the way financial markets operate, providing a seamless and secure platform for traders, brokers, dealers, bankers, and so on. Most likely Quamfy, and they have a lot of interesting stuff on their website. If you want to learn more, link is in the description.
Yep.
Foundation of the blockchain economy. Why is this here? Oh yeah, Quant and R3 technology providers for the foundation of the blockchain economy. And then we have this, right? So we go from tokenization, regulated liability network, and then we're moving to top real world asset tokens by market cap. Yeah. At position 1 in this ranking, at position 12 on CMC, we have AVAX. Then we have Chainlink, then ICP, VChain Maker, and then there's QNT.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool because the list is
long.
It's pretty long.
But we are in there.
Yeah, so Quant is now part of the RWA scene for whatever that is worth, but that's new, and I thought you guys find it interesting. And then to finish off a little bit later than 1 hour, Greg just posted, Greg Lund at Greg Lund X with the 2 swords. Big SATP update. SETL, an open source protocol working on the US Regulated Liability Network with the New York Fed, who has Deloitte as an early investor and was once labeled a Quant, quote-unquote, competitor, has reached out to the SATP working group, suggesting they'd very much like to contribute to the protocol. Quote, hey guys, can we be included too? Type of energy. Waving the white flag, submitting to Gilbert's vision. It is quite clear at this point. API gateways are the dominant force in cross-network asset transfers. Are you? Okay, so here we have the email that Greg dug up. Most of these emails are public. I'm gonna race through this. Hi all, I am the CEO of SETL, and we have been heavily involved in the development of the Regulated Liability Network. This is an initiative driven by many of the major global banks to establish a network of regulated ledgers onto which liabilities can be issued, tokenized or otherwise, and for those ledgers to be interoperable. This project envisages the integration of CBDC with tokenized deposits as well as tokenized securities. We provide the technology to the trial with the Fed last year, and before that in the UK and in Singapore. We have since launched a product, Ledger Swarm, and a test network, Tranquility, based on that product. The protocol we have designed to affect transactions across different private ledgers is very close to that proposed by SATP. We have open sourced that protocol, www.rln/ip.org. We would very much like to contribute to the SATP working group and bring some of our experience and engineering expertise to the table. Whilst the protocol we use probably extends beyond the strict boundaries of SATP, it would be good if we could assist with a view to incorporating the SATP standard where we can. That's very interesting. I think that's very interesting. So Greg just dug this up. Good work, Greg. And yeah, this is a little bit bending the knee type of thing. And Singapore, UK, New York Fed. I would not be surprised if they worked with Quant on this, on those projects. Right? How many of those projects with UK, New York Fed, and Singapore could there have been? And we know that Quant have been involved with them. So it could very well be that they're like, yeah, maybe we want to join them now. Because SATP is, well, doing well currently, right? Big benefit of having MIT on your team.
Yeah.
The ones that actually created the fucking internet.
They are building a global standard. But everything, as you see here, I'm really out of touch with all the FA. And
this is hot off the press, dude. This is 9:41 p.m.
No, obviously, but like, even if you're completely out of touch with the FA, like me, and you just see the broad lines. We see Quant as the company, not necessarily as the crypto. being in the middle of attention again. That could be our confirmation bias. But with the type of stuff that they are, well, lining out and building at the moment, and they
Yeah.
are literally, the way they're paving right now, they are in the middle of it once again. And I mean, it could be a coincidence, but they really seem to be at the center of attention for years. And even if you are out of touch like me, you don't exactly know what all these abbreviations mean and what all the underlying technology is. It isn't very hard to see Quant being here on this stage. And yeah, it
You need
just
to try
all
really
aligns.
fucking hard to ignore it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it will just make so much sense in retrospect. And maybe we don't see it right now because we are looking at a glacier with a telescope, but it's really happening.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and
It,
yeah,
it it really is. And we we've known for some time that Gilbert's been whispering, right? To almost anybody that is anybody within government, within banking. And people are starting to speak the language more and more. And yeah, stuff like this is it's fun. It's interesting. I mean, he's clearly still pounding his own chest, like, "Oh, we already made this and that and that." But could we share some knowledge together? Is very cool. Uh, we'll see how it goes. SATP should also, unironically, be ready around July.
yeah.
Um,
To me,
same as
it's
the R,
yeah.
same as the RLN trial. And wasn't Project Rosalind phase 3 also not ending in July?
I don't
Somewhere
really
in
know.
somewhere in summer. So there's a lot like being sucked into this black hole,
Ideally,
or onto this stage.
it will all
Huh?
be there during the mid-season finale of the Quamfy show, obviously, when we
Yeah,
start flipping or we do the summer break, we flip our assets. No, I'm kidding.
maybe
But, but
we'll see.
but just on a final note, and there are even things on the FA that we skipped over. There was this PDF that Quant.
Oh shit!
Yeah, no, it's okay. Quant published some PDF. I think Papa dropped it in the console.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I can't put this in the description, but
yeah,
I'll
we're
just pull
already
it up real
way over
quick.
time and it's getting late.
Yeah, the
It's
tokenization
about
of bank deposits and
programmable.
liabilities will power a new type of money. But this
Yeah,
is from April 2024.
yeah,
We'll try and
yeah,
find the link, and we'll put the link in the description of the video so you can go directly to the source of this.
yeah, and it's
Um,
about programmable payments.
yeah, CBDC, stablecoins, tokenized deposit, and cryptocurrencies. Yeah, this is an interesting document. I skimmed through this. Um, and there's a lot of very nice juice in there, and it's not looking good for stablecoins. Um,
No,
but yeah, for the people that are watching the video, you can have paused it whenever I scroll down, and
yeah,
you
it's
can
not
read the
looking good for
stuff.
stable coins at all.
No, no,
Anyway,
no.
this is just a piece of the FA that we kind of missed this episode, but just in brief, I think the takeaway of this episode is that we really see the industry pushing forward in the form of all the Regulated Liability Network, which is an industry initiative. We see like the scientific community and like the regulators pushing forward in the form of SATP and also, well, being engaged in all the experiments they do. And it all seems to align for the final step, which is government finally making decisions and going to that meeting room and signing
Yeah,
documents and implementing it,
and
which
then we're
is
full
the
circle again,
final
right?
stage. Then we will have reached a full circle. And I think we are a fair 65% through at this stage, being end of Q1 2024. So we are here. Yeah, we're already in Q2. Anyways, it's progressing and it's going our direction. Just a matter of price catching up. Don't get fooled by other cryptos. Stay Quamfy.
Stay Quamfy.